Through the centuries, many missionaries have left Scotland's shores. Mary Slessor, David Livingstone, Alexander Duff, Eric Liddell. In 1910, the first World Missions Conference was held here in Edinburgh. I'm standing on the steps of the Assembly Hall where that conference was held. It was described as the most significant event for the worldwide evangelization with the gospel ever held. At the heart of that event was a commitment to gospel partnership. Sadly, in recent years, gospel vision and strategy in Scotland has been characterized less by gospel partnership and more by partisanship and tribalism. Thankfully, that is now changing, in part because of the urgency of the times in which we're living. But the most significant change is the emergence of a generation of young leaders who are committed to working with one another. They come from different constituencies and networks that at one time would have divided them. But now they are committed to working together in gospel partnership for the common good. Gospel partnership is based on core convictions. Core convictions like Jesus Christ leads his church through his word. Convictions like the word of God is the supreme rule of faith and life, the absolute authority in the church. Convictions like preaching and teaching the word of God is central to the life of the church, the priority of word ministry. Partnership is around these core convictions. But when these core convictions are there, partnership is across constituencies. Now, the Bonner Trust is committed to developing and fostering such gospel partnership. Partnering with others is at the heart of the work of the Bonner Trust in 4 areas. Firstly, developing partnerships with church planting networks. Secondly, partnering with training churches. Thirdly, partnering with training providers. And fourthly, instilling a spirit of partnership in the next generation of leaders. First, partnering with church planting networks. Now, we recognize that church planting is key to the spiritual reformation of Scotland. And the Bonner Trust is committed to partnering with groups like Generation. Generation is a church planting network that has its genesis in the Free Church of Scotland, but they are committed not only to planting churches within the Free Church, but supporting church plants in other constituencies, reflecting this emerging vision for partnership. The Bonner Trust has been pleased to support through their training a number of people who are leading Generation church plants in cities, in small towns and in rural communities. Second, partnering with training churches. It's encouraging to see networks of training churches across the country, whether in cities or in geographical areas. And the reason for that is that local churches are increasingly seeing the training, the nurturing of gospel workers as a key priority. The Bonner Trust is pleased to have partnerships with over 40 training churches. And these represent a broad constituency. They include free church congregations, churches that are part of the FIEC or the International Presbyterian Church, Didasco, 20 Schemes or Brethren churches, independent churches. And moreover, these churches are geographically widespread, and some are in cities, some are in towns, some are in rural settings. And what we're beginning to see is the emergence of an ecosystem of training churches across the country. Thirdly, partnership with a range of training providers. The Trust is pleased to be in partnership with Cornhill, with Edinburgh Theological Seminary, with Scottish Pastors Training, and with Crosslands. And the Trust is always open to establishing partnerships with new training providers offering rigorous training programs. Finally, inspiring a spirit of gospel partnership among the next generation of leaders. Now that is critical. It is so encouraging to see that emerging generation of Christian leaders committed to working together in gospel partnership. And that will multiply ecosystems in training and in planting across this country. And the Bonar Trust will do whatever it can to encourage and foster that spirit of partnership.